It's finally festive season, guys. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to another video. I am here today to talk you through my end of year TBR. We are finally at the end of the year. It's festive season now and I'm so excited. Now this isn't an actual TBR, it's more of an MBR of books I would like to get to. I'm not pressuring myself to get through all of these books. I wasn't going to do a kind of set TBR and I was wanting to mood read. Well, it kind of is mood reading, but I have picked out a few books that I would like to get to by the end of the year, and also some of these books I will be reading for the MGM Christmas Magic Readathon. I think that video and this should be up prior to this video, so I'll leave a link to that video up here somewhere if I figure out how to do that, or in the box down below. But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to talk you through each of the books that I'm planning to read in the month of December, and I'm just really excited for the festive season and for all of these book picks. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Okay guys, so I'm going to chat you through some of the books that I am planning to read for the MGM Christmas Magic Readathon, which is going to be running from the 15th to the 18th of December. You don't have to read middle grade, you can read whatever you want. So I'm going to have a mix of books for that, and I'm going to double up on some of the prompts, which hopefully should make it a bit easier, and you can double up, treble up on the prompts, whatever you want to do. So I've picked out a couple of wintry festive middle grades and books that have got like a wintry theme that I think fit with the prompts quite well. So I'm going to talk you through some of those. So the first book that I am wanting to read, and I've got a NetGalley arc of this, I haven't managed to get around to it, which is terrible, but I'm really excited for this one, and it is Sophie Anderson's brand new middle grade release, which is The Snow Girl. This cover just looks so wintry and festive, and it just looks absolutely beautiful. So in this, we're following the main character Tasha, and she builds a snow girl with her granddad, and all she wants is for it to be real, because I think she doesn't have many friends, and the snow girl actually comes to life and they form an unlikely friendship. And the tagline of this book is "What happens when spring comes." So I think it's going to be really sweet and emotional, and I love Sophie Anderson's middle grade book. She's one of the best middle grade writers that I've ever read from, and I'm just really excited to finally get into it. And I think I'm going to use this for the prompt of ice magic and snow on the cover, because obviously there's snow on the cover, and it's also got a festive word in the title as well, snow. So I'm going to triple up on the prompts using that book. So yeah, I'm really excited to get around to that one. Next up, and another new middle grade book that has just come out recently, and I saw on Gavin's channel because I think he got a copy of it recently, but the book in question is The Ice Children by M.G. Leonard. And M.G. Leonard is one of the authors of the Adventures on Train series, and this is their newest release, and we're following a girl who is I've got my iPad down here so I can read the synopsis, by the way. We're following a girl whose brother is found frozen in the city park, and she thinks it's because he touched a magical book in a library, and so I think the story is that she has to try and figure out how to save her brother, and it just looks very wintry, and I love the cover for this. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I'm going to be hopefully reading that book for that prompt. Okay, next up guys is I'm going to be hopefully reading two books that are part of the same series. It's another middle grade series, and I read the second book in this series last month and I had a really good time with it, so I do want to continue on with the next two books in this series, and I think they fit quite well. And it's also, I've mentioned M.G. Leonard, so I'm going to be carrying on with the Adventures on Train series. So I'm going to be picking up the third book, which is Murder on the Safari Star by M.G. Leonard and Sam Sedgman. I really enjoyed this series. They're a lot of fun. We follow Hal and his uncle Nat, who go on train journeys together, and there's different events that happen in each of the books. And so the first book, there was a robbery on the Highland Falcon Thief. Book 2, there was a kidnap on the California Comet. And now we're moving on to the third book, which is Murder on the Safari Star. So I'm assuming that there's a murder that happens, which is a little bit sinister. And if I manage to get through book 3, I would like to move on to Danger at Dead Man's Pass, which is book 4. And I think this has some kind of supernatural, kind of spooky element to it, which is interesting. So I can't wait to get to both of these. And the really great thing about this is Hal likes to draw, and you'll get in the book a kind of big page spread of all the suspects on the train, which is really, really great, and the illustrations are really, really cute. So I think I'm going to use both of these for the illustrated book prompt and found family prompt, because I think Hal and his Uncle Nat are their own kind of little found family, and he makes lots of friends on the different train journeys, and it's just a really, really good time. So yeah, the Adventures on Train series, I'm going to carry on with that. Okay guys, and then the last 2 books that I am thinking of that I would like to get to during the MGM Christmas Magic Readathon is the next 2 books in the Polar Bear Explorers Club series by Alex Bell. I've read the Polar Bear Explorers Club, I think a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago, and I haven't managed to continue on with it, so I would like to do it by the end of the year. So Polar Bear Explorers Club, we're following a young girl called Stella, and she wants to be an explorer, and she wants to join the Polar Bear Explorers Club, but she lives in a society where girls can't be explorers, and an event happens that takes her on this magical journey, and she joins the Polar Bear Explorers Club, and there's winter vibes, and she's got a polar bear companion, and it's a really fun time. So I would like to move on to the second book, which is Explorers on Witch Mountain. And we're continuing on with Stella, and her disaster strikes when Stella's father is snatched by a fearsome witch, and I'm assuming that she has to go on a journey to try and rescue her father. And then we will move on to the third book in the Polar Bear Explorers Club series, which is Explorers on Black Ice Bridge. And again, I think we'll follow Stella with the Polar Bear Explorers Club, and I'll wrap up that series, and then I can move on to the Ocean Squid Explorers Club series, which follows different characters in a different club, and they're just a really fun time. The illustrations are really, really cute. So, and I would also like to mention, I would potentially like to get to Hunted by Megan Spooner. This popped up on my radar from one of Jade's Polarthon recommendations videos. I think it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and the cover looks very wintry and festive, and there's snow on the cover, so I'm assuming it's set in like a wintry kind of world. And I always love to read a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It's my favourite fairy tale to read from, and I've never read from Megan Spooner at all. So yeah, so that's my main TBR for the MGM Christmas Magic Readathon, and I'm really excited to get to all of those. Okay guys, so I'm now going to talk you through some of the books that I would like to get to by the end of the year, and I'm going to start off with continuing on with the series that I'm currently reading the third book for. I have really been enjoying the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver, and I'm currently reading Powerless by Elsie Silver, and I'm having a really good time with it so far. I'm really, really enjoying it. So I would like to move on to Reckless, which is book 4, and I don't know what that one is about, so I'll get the synopsis up. So we follow, in this series, I think it's the Eatons? I can't remember the name, but we follow this family that they're all kind of cowboys, and they own like a ranch, and we follow each of the different siblings in this family and their romances with the main characters, and it's a really good time. The second book so far, Heartless, has been my favourite, so I would like to continue on with it. So we're following Theo Silva, rowdy bull rider, notorious ladies man, scorching hot trouble wrapped in a drool-worthy package, and he's looking at me like I might be his next meal. I'm almost free of my toxic marriage, and I've sworn off men entirely, so all I see when I look at Theo is temptation, served up with a heaping side of heartbreak. The man is hard to trust, even harder to resist. Make that impossible because Theo is persistent, and no matter how hard I try to freeze him out, he melts my icy exterior and pulls apart all my defences. Then I spend the singular hottest night of my life with him. It was supposed to be a one-time thing, a secret, but that little plus sign is going to make this secret impossible to keep. So I don't know which sibling we're following in Reckless, but I am really excited, and that does sound really good, and I'm having a really good time with Powerless at the moment. So yeah, I'm really excited to continue on with that series. Okay, so next up, guys, I would also like to continue on with the Eden series by Devney Perry. I read Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry last month and I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, so I would like to move on to book 2, which is Juniper Hill by Devney Perry, and we're following the Edens family that are a wealthy family that own this like ranch in Quincy, and yeah, it's just basically romances between the main character and one of the Eden siblings, and yeah, it's been a really good time so far, so I'm going to move on to Juniper Hill. I briefly started it in November, but I put it down because I was starting to get in a slump and I didn't want to not enjoy it, so I put it down. So I'm going to go ahead and restart it and carry on with it. But we're following Memphis, who moves to Quincy. She's running away from her old life. She's got her young baby in the back of the car crying, and she's come to Quincy, and she meets Wynne, who we met in Indigo Ridge, who's the chief of police, and she helps her out and offers her a place to stay. And it happens to be Knox, who's one of the Eden siblings, and he's kind of a loner, a bit of a grumpy sunshine, and she's got a job working for the Edens as a cleaner, and I think that there's a romance that happens between Memphis and Knox. So yeah, I'm really excited to continue on with that series, and if I have time I would like to get to book 3, which is Garnet Flats, and I know Steph read this recently and she really enjoyed it and she's having a great time with the series so far. So yeah, I would like to continue on with the Eden series, and they're kind of like, both series are kind of on a similar vein, but I've really been enjoying those kind of romances that are kind of like companion novels, and it's like you get to see a little glimpse of the next couple that you're following in the next book, and I really enjoy that. So yeah, I'm really excited to continue on with both series. So yeah, I'm really excited. I also thought that it would be a good idea to get some manga on here, so I would very much like to continue on with Spy Family. This is volume 4. I don't know what this kind of weird looking animal is meant to be, but it looks quite cute. So this is volume 4, as I've just said there, and we're following the main character Twilight, who's a spy, and in the first volume he needs to find a wife and a child, and he ends up adopting this young girl who happens to be a telepath, and his new wife is an assassin. Each of them don't know about the other, and it's a really, really good time. It's really, really sweet. It's very Mission Impossible, like Jason Bourne. There's a lot of action, but there's also a lot of quite sweet moments, and yeah, I'm really excited to continue on with this manga series. And I've also got volume 5 there as well, so if I have time I would like to get to volume 5 as well. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to continue on with that. Okay guys, I have been interested in trying this particular series for a while, and I know it's really, really popular, and I've never read from this author before, but I got the 3 books in the series fairly recently, and they're just absolutely stunning. But the book in question is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This is the first book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and this follows on from the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber, which I haven't read, but I don't think you would need to read it prior to this one. But we follow the main character Evangeline and Jax, I think, who was in the Caraval series, and I think it's going to be a romance, and it looks very magical and like fairy tale-esque, and these editions come with the most stunning foiling on them, and just absolutely stunning. So I would like to at least have read the first book in this series, but yeah, I'm really, really excited, and the cover for this is just absolutely stunning. Sorry guys, I had to charge up my camera, so if anything looks a little bit different, I apologise, but I'm going to carry on with the rest of my TBR. So the next book I would really like to read by the end of the year is one of my anticipated releases, and I loved the first book in this series, but the book in question is Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. This is the prequel book to Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, which I really loved. It's a cosy fantasy that follows our main character, Viv, who is an orc. She's a fighter, she's a mercenary, and she decides to retire from fighting and hang up her swords, and she wants to run a coffee shop in this little town that has never ever heard of coffee, and she makes friends with people in the town and they help her build up the coffee shop from the ground up. And there are these people that are wanting money off of her, and it's a really good time, and the characters are just adorable, and it's very cosy fantasy, and I just love it. So in this one we follow Viv, who in the prequel, she's still a fighter, she's still a mercenary, and she gets injured in a battle, I think, and she needs to recuperate in this small little town until her comrades on this mission come back for her, and she makes friends with the people in the town. I think she makes friends with the librarian. So on a little blurb here it says, set 20 years before the events of Legends and Lattes, Bookshops and Bone Dust is a standalone cosy fantasy about the power of good bookshops, great friends and unexpected choices along the way. So yeah, I'm really excited to pick this up, and I'm sure it'll be a good time, and I'm hoping this will be a 5-star, the same as Legends and Lattes. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Okay guys, and we have finally reached the last 2 books that are part of the same series that I would like to reread actually. Now, probably most of you know, but if you don't know, Sarah J Maas is one of my all-time favourite authors. She's an auto-buy author for me. I just adore her books so much. And in January, the 3rd book in the Crescent City series comes out, which I think is called House of Flaming Shadow, I think. I'll put a picture up on the screen of the cover, but that is the 3rd book in the Crescent City series, so it is a little bit ambitious, but I would like to reread the first 2 books in the Crescent City series, and they are not small books, they are chunky books, but I would really like to do a reread of the first book, which is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas, which is book 1 in the Crescent City series, and in this world it's Sarah J Maas's adult urban fantasy, and we follow the main character Bryce Quinlan. I really enjoyed this first book in the series. It's a really good time. There's romance, action, angels and demons and fae and lots of other different supernatural things, and yeah, I'm really excited to. It's been a little while since I've read this actually, so it will be quite nice to do a reread of it. So I'm planning for when I'm off work for Christmas to binge both of these. So that is the first book in the Crescent City series. And then after that, I will hopefully move on to book 2, which is House of Sky and Breath. Now this is a chunky boy. It's over 800 pages, I think, if I remember correctly. 805 pages. So it's definitely one of the more chunkier ones that Sarah J Maas has ever come out with. I don't know how long the new one will be, but I know a lot of people didn't enjoy this, but I absolutely loved this. I had a really good time with it and gave it 5 stars, so it will be quite good, I think, to do a reread of this before book 3 comes out. But yeah, I'm really excited to read both of them and hopefully do it in time before the 3rd book comes out in January. And I think I've read somewhere that Sarah J Maas is currently writing the next ACOTAR book, which I'm so excited for. You guys will probably know ACOTAR is my favourite series of all time, and I think I've heard her say that the book number 5 in the series will be Asriel's story, which I think will be really interesting because we don't know a lot about Asriel, so I think it would be great to get a backstory for him. So yeah, I'm really excited. So that is my whole TBR for the end of the year, and I'm really excited for everything. Okay guys, so that is my end of the year TBR. I'm really excited to get through everything, and I'm looking forward to the little mini readathon for Middle Grade Magic. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll leave all the details in the box down below if you would like to take part in it. And yeah, I'm just really excited. I mean, especially for my rereads of the Crescent City books ahead of the new 3rd book that's coming out in January, and I'm just looking forward to having a really good end of the year. Try and get through as many of these as I can. I'm not pressuring myself to get through everything, but It would be great if I did, but I'm really excited to get through everything, and I'm just really excited for the brand new year, and hopefully for my channel to hopefully grow and get bigger. And yeah, I'm really excited for everything. So if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to. Let me know in the comments what your end of the year TBR is, what you're looking forward to, and yeah, without further ado, I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys! Hi guys, I'm just briefly popping into the end of this video. I just received another special edition book from Readathon, and I wanted to show them on camera to you guys. Now, this series has been out, I think, for quite a long time, and I have always been really intrigued about it, and I wasn't too bothered about getting them when I first saw them. But then when you actually look at the actual look of the book, they are absolutely stunning, and I opened them up earlier on and they're even more stunning in person. But if you can guess what they are, it's definitely giving me like City of Brass, Aladdin kind of vibes, if that's maybe a clue. So the books in question are these stunning books. Absolutely gorgeous. So I don't know the actual name of the actual series, but yeah, so we have the first book in this series, which is The Wrath and the Dawn by Readathon. And I have heard of Readathon. I know that she's written the Beautiful series, I think it's called. But yeah, I think this was her debut. I'm pretty sure that this was her debut, but we've got this stunning design on the front cover, which is absolutely gorgeous. And then if I turn it around, we've got this stunning rose and moon on the back, which is, I think that's what sold me, because roses, I love any kind of book that's got like roses on it. So, and it's got like the gold foiling, which I don't know if you can tell, but it's just really detailed and absolutely gorgeous. And then it was these edges that kind of sold me, that match the back of the book. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Because I wasn't too sure about the kind of colour palette of this, but when you actually see it in person, it's absolutely beautiful. So yeah, got the rose design on the back. And then because it's a Readathon edition, it comes signed by Readathon, which is nice to have. And it also comes with end papers. Now, I actually haven't looked at the naked hardback, so this will be a first time for me seeing it. So it comes with these end papers, which are really, really, really nice and fit the vibe. And I think these are the same on the back. Yeah, they're the exact same on the back. And then, oh, that's really pretty. And then on the naked hardback, we have the rose and the moon design. I don't know if you can see that, it's quite faded, but yeah, that's really, really pretty. So that is The Wrath and the Dawn, which is the first book in this duology. And I'll show you the second book. Okay, that's really pretty. So this is book 2, which is The Rose and the Dagger by Readathon. And we've got a darker brown with more of a silvery foil on there, which is really pretty. And then on the back of this one, we have a rose with a dagger going through it, which is absolutely gorgeous. And then on the sprayed edge, we have the rose and the dagger again. And I forgot to say, it's got that kind of swirly detailing on the top and the bottom edges, which are absolutely beautiful. I'll quickly show you. So yeah, so it's got that on the top of The Wrath and the Dawn, and on the bottom as well, so very pretty. So let's have a look at the rose and the dagger. So we've got different end papers for this one, and they're both the same on the back and the front. So I'll show you the back here. That's very pretty. And then we have the rose and the dagger design on the naked hardback. And it's quite interesting that they went for like a brownie theme, because I don't own many books that have got like a brownie kind of hardcover, but that is really pretty. And then this one should also be, yep, and it's also signed by Readathon. So every dawn brings death. Can she change the story? Every dawn brings horror to a different family in a land ruled by a killer. Khalid, the 18-year-old Caliph of Karozan, apologies for these pronunciations, takes a new bride each night only to have her executed at sunrise. So it is a terrible surprise when 16-year-old Shahrazad volunteers to marry Khalid, but she does so with a clever plan to stay alive and exact revenge on the Caliph for the murder of her best friend and countless other girls. Shazzy's wit will get her through to the dawn that no others have seen, but with a catch: she may be falling in love with a murderer. Shazzy discovers that the villainous boy king is not all he seems, and neither are the deaths of so many girls. It's up to her to uncover the reason for the murders and to break the cycle once and for all. A New York Times bestseller and sumptuous epic tale inspired by 1001 Nights. So yeah, it definitely gives me Aladdin vibes, City of Brass vibes just from the setting, and yeah, I'm really excited to own these beautiful editions, and I definitely will be getting to them at some point because they both sound absolutely amazing. Here are the sprayed edges together side by side, absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching that little unboxing, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.